Hello everybody, it's Alison from Engli-teach.com. Hello, and are you ready for another wonderful live lesson in English? I hope so. Okay, so today I had a request, or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And the request was, Alison, can you please describe the difference of use between who and which? Which is going to be our lesson for today. No pun included. But before we start, if you haven't done already, go along to Engli-teach.com. Create your free account and download my free book, okay? So that you can learn how to learn English quicker and faster, and some tips if you're learning at home alone. Also, if you open a free account, you will have the opportunity of booking onto the group seminar lessons, which are live like this, but private, with me and other adult learners. So what this means is that you can also speak in the lesson to practice your English more, okay, your English pronunciation. So with no further ado, as they say, let's get started on today's lesson. Okay, first of all, before we start with the who and the which, I think we need to talk a little bit about clauses, because you need to understand what a clause is before you will be able to understand how to use the who and the which effectively. Okay, so hello, I'm just going to say hello. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the live. So let's have a shout out. Hello, Ali Malika. Hello, Salam Sharaf. Hello. Hello, Kazim. Hello, thank you, Kazim. That's a very nice comment. And hello, everybody else. If I haven't said your name, it means it's scrolling up and I can't always see it that much if people start joining the live lesson. Okay. So first of all, clauses, okay, and then we are going to go on to how we use who and which, okay? Would help if I spelt that properly. Hang on a moment, I have a freeze frame, okay, who and which, okay. So first of all, what is a clause? And why do we need to know what it is before we learn about who and which and how we use it? Okay, well, a clause is a short, simple sentence, or a clause is a group of words that make a sentence. In every clause, you will always have a subject as well as a verb. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples here. So let me just put up here, first of all, what is a clause? What is a clause? A clause is a meaningful combination, okay, of words, as it can alone express a complete thought. A clause can be a simple short sentence, or it can be or you can use 2 or 3 clauses, sometimes 4, but normally 2 or 3 in a longer sentence. So the golden rule, how do you know if it's a clause, because a clause always contains a subject, as well as the verb. As we know, the verb is the doing word. It tells us what is being done. Here is an example of a clause. I am sleeping. I am sleeping, okay? I know this might be easy for some of you, but I'm going to go into the kind of intermediate section in a moment. So we're going to do this and then we're going to go on to longer sentences using who and which. So stay with me, okay? So I am sleeping. What is the subject? Who can tell me in the comments? What is the subject in I am sleeping? Can anyone tell me? Let me look in the comments. Let me look in the comments. Do I see anyone tell me? No. Okay, so we're talking about me. I am sleeping, so I am the subject. The sentence is all about me and what I'm doing, but the subject is about me. The verb is sleeping. I am sleeping. What are you doing? I am sleeping. Okay? Now let's have a little look at a longer clause or two clauses. I waited for him, but he didn't come. Oh, I got stood up on a date. Do you know this? Stood up. Stood up is when you go on a date and the person doesn't arrive. That's called stood up. Maybe I'll put that in here. Stood up. Let me reduce this so you can see. Bear with me. Here we go. Stood up. Stood up. I waited for him, one clause, but he didn't come, second clause, okay? Let's have a look. I waited for him, one clause, but he didn't come, second clause. So here we've got two clauses, okay? Two clauses. So everyone is clear about what a clause is, okay? I am going to do another lesson actually, I think, entirely on clauses, because clauses, the world of clauses is very interesting, and you can have all sorts of different clauses, and they're very helpful to help you determine what sort of grammar you should be using. Basically, the rule is, in English, if you know what the subject is and what the verb is in a sentence, that's going to help you very much so with understanding and using the correct tense, if you like, when you're creating sentences and speaking and writing. So let's get on now to the who and which. But I have a bonus. I'm not just doing who and which. I'm also going to be doing, actually, does anybody know? I'm going to be doing who, which, and what. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Who, which, and that, sorry, who, which, and that. And the reason for that, who, which, and the reason for that is going to be very easy to understand. Okay, so let's start with who. There are 4 rules really with who, which, and that. 4 general rules. There are many more little rules that come off of it. But to start with, we're just going to determine the structure. So, who, and sometimes that refers to people, okay? Who always refers to people. It's nothing else. Who is always people. Let me remove this. Okay. Refer to people. I'm going to give you an example. Yes. Hello, Abdel. Hello. Okay. Tom is the one who cleaned the house. Now, when we're speaking normally, I wouldn't say Tom is the one who. In general usage, you would say Tom is the one who cleaned the house. Tom is the one who cleaned the house. But I'm emphasising it in this lesson so you can hear where it falls in the sentence, and now you're going to see it. So, Tom is the one who cleaned the house. Now here in this sentence, we are the who part, let me underline it here. The who part gives information about the person or the people, if it was plural, okay, that is involved or who is the subject of the sentence, okay? Tom is the one who cleaned all the house, okay? All right. Now let's look at that, okay? Because I said to you that we would be looking at them in sync. So let's have a look. Clara is that girl over there. Clara is that girl over there. Now look at these sentences. If we didn't have who and we didn't have that, we wouldn't understand the sentence. If we didn't have who and we didn't have that, we wouldn't understand the sentence. Clara is girl over there. Tom is the one cleaned all the house. This is actually very non-native English. I can tell that words are missing, and when people speak like this, I will be listening and I can tell, there is a word missing. And it's like playing a game. Which word is missing? And this is where confused communication can happen, and how misunderstandings can happen, where you're perhaps not using the right word or forgetting the word entirely, as in this case, and the other person, the listener, is trying to understand. So Tom is the one who cleaned all the house. Clara is the girl over there. Okay, now then, let's move on to the next one. Now I'm going to give you an example. Let's see if who can tell me. I really need conversation. Yes, somebody's put in the comment, I need really conversation. You do, but looking at that comment, you also need grammar, word order. I need really conversation. I really need conversation. Word inversion and word order are part of grammar, and all these types of lessons are really going to help you, because we write how we think. If you don't know how to write some of the words properly, or you're not going to say them properly either. Okay, can you tell me, made all this mess? What goes in here? Is it who or is it that? What goes in this gap? Can you tell me, made all this mess? Thank you, Aden. What is the answer? Can you tell me? Thank you, Daya. Yes. Well done. Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Can you tell me who made all this mess? Okay, great. What about this one? I listen first and then I'll write it up. Is he the man robbed the bank? Is he the man robbed the bank? Is that who or that? Is he the man who, I've said it, who robbed the bank? Is he the man who robbed the bank, or is he the man that robbed the bank? Which one should it be? I'm going to look in the comments. Let me see. Is he the man that robbed the bank? Is he the man that robbed the bank? Is he the man that robbed the bank? Excellent. Okay, good. So that's our first rule. Now, there are some notes when you are using that. And don't worry, all of this I will put up on the website so that you can go along and see this all written down for you. Now, there are some rules here. That and which, let me see. Okay. That and which refers to groups of things. Okay? That and which refers to groups or things. So groups of nouns or things. Okay? Or groups of. So let's have a look. Paul is on the team that gets the highest results. Paul is on the team that gets the highest results. Okay, that gets the highest results. The second one, she belongs to an organisation which specialises in helping disabled adults find jobs. This is a long sentence. For the more advanced people on the page that want to challenge themselves, okay, she belongs to an organisation which specialises in helping disabled adults find jobs. Okay, thank you. Now I have some challenges for you. What goes in this sentence? Is it that or is it which? Okay, is it that or is it which? Here's your sentence. One can I take? One can I take? Is it that or is it which? Which one? In the comments. I'm going to look in the comments. Who can tell me what goes in here? What goes in here? One can I take? Oh. Oh. Yes. Which one can I take? Excellent. Which one can I take? Good. Well done. Excellent, everybody. Okay, now let's have a look at this one. Is the car over there? Is the car over there? Thank you, Abdel. Okay, I don't understand what went wrong. Maybe it was just a streaming error because this lesson is a live stream. Abdel, can you see and hear me now and everyone else? Good? Okay. Which one can I take? Okay. And the second one is the car over there. Yes. Very good. Okay. Is that the car over there? Is that the car over there? Very good. Yes. Daya, it's which one can I take? And is that the car over there? Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, we're going to go on to the second rule now, and this one gets a little bit more complicated with its lack of exceptions. So let's have a look. That. Now we're going to look at the beginning of the lesson. I spoke about essential clauses, and this is the reason why. If you've just joined the live lesson and you don't know what a clause is, at the beginning of this lesson, I do a mini intro about clauses to help you understand so that you will understand this grammar point. That introduces what we call an essential clause. Now, in the world of English, there are lots and lots of different clauses. Understanding and recognising and identifying what clause is what will help you choose the correct grammar. So, or the correct words, which will make your grammar correct, because a clause is just one part of grammar, one part of a sentence. So essential clauses, what do they do? What do they do? They add information that is crucial, vital to the main element of the sentence. So this means without the clause, we wouldn't really have much information in the sentence. So by adding essential clauses, the information is very clear in the sentence and the sentence is very well understood. So this is great to make your communication easier and for others to understand what you are saying like 100%. So let's have a look at an example. Okay, using that in an essential clause. Here we go. The man who ordered that pizza claims he can eat 3 more just like it. I'll read it again. The man who ordered that pizza claims he can eat 3 more just like it. So he likes pizza, huh? Okay. Now, if we didn't have that in this sentence, it would be really confusing. If we didn't have that, the man who ordered pizza claims he can eat 3 more just like it. It's like there's something wrong there without the that. So the man who ordered that pizza claims he can eat 3 more just like it. So here in the essential clause, it's given us two extra functions. The first one here, The first function is that it's helping the clause, the man who ordered that pizza, this is one clause here, the man who ordered that pizza, it helps the clause, be understood, claims he can eat 3 more just like it. Okay, the man who ordered that pizza, so it's like a bridging word as well. It helps us bridge the 2 clauses together, like a bridge, like here. The that part, can you imagine here? This is the bridge. It helps us bring them together and makes the whole sentence flow and work together. And this is why being able to use small words can take your general English use to be from beginner to intermediate or intermediate to advanced. Because if you can create these 2 clauses, the man who ordered pizza or that pizza, and he can eat 3 more like it, if you can think these clauses up and then learn how you can bridge them together, bring them together, you are taking your English competence to a higher level, okay? But don't try using words and doing this type of thing in use, I guess, if you're not really sure. It's better to learn how to use it and do it well than to try to do something really long, not do it well, and it's a bit confusing. So that would be my advice. Okay, now I'm going to give you some notes about this important clause. Okay, we would not learn what he claimed to know without the that clause, okay? We wouldn't know that he was going to eat or could eat 3 pizzas without that. Now, an essential clause is also known as a non-defining or a non-restrictive clause. I'm going to do another lesson on clauses because that's too much for this lesson, but it's just for you to understand that it's one clause within a group of other clauses that have different functions and use. Now, this is a really important part. Essential clauses do not have commas introducing or surrounding them. And I'm going to give you an example of that with that sentence. Now, lots of people, if they hadn't identified that that was an essential clause, they would have written it like this. The man who ordered that pizza, lots of people here would have put a comma. The amount of exams I have marked, lots of people there would have put a comma. Even English people. English native people who make this mistake, but it's an essential clause, so you don't need a comma. The man who ordered that pizza, we don't need the comma, claims, so let's take it out, he can eat 3 more just like it, okay? So essential clauses do not have commas introducing or surrounding them. That's the golden rule. If you can remember things like that, especially if you're learning English to pass IELTS or Cambridge exams, that's the type of thing that's going to get you higher points and get you a higher grade, okay? So just remember that. Okay. All right, now let's move on. We've got some more things here. Rule number 3, which. Now we're going to look at introducing a non-essential clause. Let me get my notes here. So which can introduce a non-essential clause. we just talked and learnt about an essential clause. Now we're going to look at non-essential clauses. Okay? All right? Is everybody good? Should we do a dance in between? Get the brain working? Okay, so the man, I'm going to use the man and the pizza, okay? The man claiming to eat all 4 pizzas, which featured on the news last night, is now on a weight loss program. The man claiming to eat all 4 pizzas, which featured on the news last night, is now on a weight loss program. Can you see here which featured on the news last night? So this is a non-essential clause. Okay? All right. Can you see the comparison between the non-essential and the essential clause that we just did? Maybe you might need to play that back and watch and compare if you're not sure. Okay, now I'm going to go on to my 4th and final rule with learning how to use which, who, and that. So this is my 4th rule. Here we go. And these are like the golden rules. If you can learn these, you will, and learn how they are used in use, how they function in use, it's going to make your life so much easier with English. Now, which can be used sometimes to introduce the next clause, whether it is essential or non-essential. But you only really do this if that has already been used or already appears in a sentence. And the reason why we use which instead of that, the reason why we use which instead of saying that again, is to make sure we don't confuse the sentence and therefore confusing the person that's reading it or listening to it. So let me give you an example. That doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Why would you say that? Well, you wouldn't. That's why we use which. This is probably sounding quite confusing, so I'm going to write it up for you because this is a really good example. Okay, now bear in mind that we are now talking about a clause, and it doesn't matter whether it's essential or non-essential, because what we're trying to avoid is this. We're trying to avoid that. And learners of English often get confused with this. They know that the grammar rules are telling them, oh, that should be that, and then another that, because that follows such and such a rule. But this is the exception to the rule, and it's to avoid confusion. In English, we have exceptions where logic fails. So if something isn't logical, then most of the time there is another rule that overrides the one you have learnt, and that's what we call the exception. So it all makes sense. So what you should have is that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it's also a very famous idiom. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like you could have an awful day at work or an awful month at work, and you're like, oh, I just can't do this job anymore. I hate my boss. I hate my job. I can't do it anymore. And then the wise owl, a wise friend, or a wise husband or wife will say to you, but that which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's like a proverb. It's like, carry the weight, it will make you a stronger back, and you will be able to carry more. And we all know how glorious it is when we have overcome a challenge. Okay, all right. I'm going to look at the comments to see if you have any questions for me. And whilst I'm doing that also, I am also going to, yesterday, I realised I said in my live, I think I said something like, thank you for all the likes, which obviously I'm thankful for. But what I meant was thank you for all the follows as well, because it was 7,000 followers or something in 1 month on the Engli-teach page. So big thank you. I'm really grateful. And I think I said likes but wrote follows. My brain was guggled. Okay. If that clause is in between 2 commas, okay, Abdel, you don't use a comma if you're introducing a clause. Okay? Essential clauses do not have commas introducing or surrounding them. Let me put this back up for you. Here. Essential clauses do not have commas introducing or surrounding them, whereas non-essential clauses are introduced or surrounded by commas. Okay? I might make my next lesson about clauses. We might have to do a few lessons on clauses actually, because there's lots of clauses. Would that be helpful? Say yes in the comments if it is. And if not, you'll have to tell me otherwise. Anyway. All right, everybody. I am going to be going very shortly. If you have no more questions regarding this. And as always, if you would like to go to Engli-teach.com, you can register for your free lifetime account. We are launching lots of wonderful new things like group seminar lessons, which I'm really excited about. So this is where you can actually join in the live lessons with your voice. So if you want to. So you will be able to speak in the lessons, I will be able to see you, which is always nice, and you can practice your pronunciation with me and also join in with the other learners of English on Engli-teach. So this is great because it means everyone who is in the live lesson, and that's going to be pre-booked because obviously there's thousands of people on the page. So that's why you need to open the free lifetime account so that we can schedule the bookings if that's what you want to do, which is great. I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, do you have time to listen? Do you mean do you have time to listen? Do you have time to listen? Is that what you mean? Do you have time to listen? Is that what you meant? Okay. All right, everybody, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful support. Carry on learning, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening or a great day wherever you are in the world, and keep practicing your English. See you. Goodbye.